In today's video, we're going to take a look back at what has been a wild year in Toronto real estate. As we come to the end of 2021, I want to use this video as a way to look back to figure out exactly how we got here. Because it hasn't all been smooth. In fact, it's been a bit of a crazy year in Toronto real estate. And even though I feel like I say that sentence every single year, 2021 was no exception. I also want to thank all the viewers of this channel. I've really started being more consistent with posting content on this channel, and we just went past 2,000 subscribers. We did almost 100,000 views this year in 2021, so thank you for being here and watching this content. As we head into 2022, if you want my advice on the ground level, I do run a real estate team here in Toronto. In the description, you can book a buyer consultation, a seller consultation, or just a call to chat about real estate. I want to start off this video to show you from the end of January till right now, where have prices gone in the 416 area code in Toronto. And I'm going to start with condos, because condos had a huge bounce back year. The year started with the average condo selling at $625,000. Today, we're at $745,000. That's an 18% increase. And as you know, if you've been watching my other videos, for most of the properties right now that are selling in Toronto sub $1 million, about 70% of them are condominium properties. But condos didn't actually see the biggest increase this year. That was townhouses. Freehold townhouses saw the biggest increase, and it makes sense, right? Because it's kind of like you start with the condo, then you're gonna get to the freehold property, maybe a semi or detached, but in that middle there's townhouse properties, which are a bit more affordable. So townhouses started the year at about $815,000, and right now they're almost touching $1 million. They're up 20% from January till right now. Semi-detached properties started the year at $1.25 million. They're currently sitting at $1.45 million, meaning they cost $200,000 today, or 19% more than they costed in January. And detached properties that started the year at about $1.6 million are currently just over 1.8. They saw a 14% increase. So pretty much, other than detached going up 15%, which by the way, percentage-wise, the actual amount of money you made if you owned a detached property is more than all the others because you started at a higher price point, the entire market went up 20% this year. So I'm gonna try and figure out in this video, what are the things that happened throughout the year, the timeline that they happened that got us to this point today. And I think we need to start with interest rates. The Bank of Canada overnight lending rate every single day of this year has been 0.25%. Now, what that actually means to you as a consumer is that at certain points of this year, you're getting variable mortgage rates at like 1.5%, even lower in some cases. You're getting fixed mortgages well under 2%. Money was extremely cheap to borrow. And that's why people had access to a lot of capital. And it makes a lot of sense why prices have gone up the way they have this year. I've said from the very beginning, you can come in and tax as much as you want, but unless you make money harder to borrow, or you make investment property purchasers have to put down more of a down payment as a minimum, or you bring more supply to the market, there's really nothing that's going to happen that's going to cool down the Toronto real estate market. Now, to follow up on the interest rate conversation, our inflation right now is calculated at being a 20-year high. And in times of extreme inflation, if you own property, if you own assets, if you own stocks, you become wealthier. Like it or not, that's the reality of what happens in these type of times. But on the flip side, right, when inflation goes up, interest rates have to go up. But the Bank of Canada seems to be holding strong. Now, Scotiabank said that they thought interest rates were going to go up 8 times next year. I said in my prediction video, I thought they'd only go up 3 times. It wouldn't really affect the market that much. But now I'm starting to think, like, with the new variant coming in and things slowly locking down again, knock on wood, I don't want to go through deja vu with all of you, but like, I don't think the Bank of Canada is going to raise interest rates if this happens again. I think it's going to be longer than we thought, and money's going to remain cheaper, which is just going to cause more and more demand because we have access to capital. Now, the next topic I want to chat about in this video is the rental market in Toronto, because the rental market, even before the pandemic, was suffering because of the ban on Airbnb and the short-term rentals, where all those short-term rentals flooded the one-year rental market. Now, it's slowly coming back, and the condo market's coming back. It saw a huge boom, but the rental market, it's not quite at where it was at its peak, but the rental market is absolutely way more competitive than it was about a year ago. At one point last year, there was 10,000 rentals on the market at once in Toronto. Right now, we're looking at about 2,000. So there's way less to choose from right now, and that's why prices have gone up in 2021. And as we move forward into the third quarter of this year, we had a little thing called an election. Do we all remember that? Well, the Liberals won the election. They want a minority. And wherever you sit on the political spectrum, I'm not getting into that in today's video. I'm not having those arguments in the description. But what I will say is the Liberals won. And with the Liberals winning, they made a lot of promises about real estate. Now, since they've won, they haven't actually done anything yet, but let's give them a little bit of time here and see what they do. And a few of the main ones was they wanted to ban blind bidding. Now, that's typically the way that homes are sold right now in Toronto. The seller knows what the prices are, but the buyers don't. And I don't necessarily think blind bidding is going to fix the affordability issue in Toronto. I think 1 out of every 10 instances of properties, it's going to stop the top bid from bidding themselves up, which I think is actually a good thing. My tune has changed a lot on this. I don't think it's going to matter. I just hope that people don't think that, okay, well, if bidding is now open and it's auction style, that somehow that's going to make homes more affordable. It's not, but if you can bring more transparency to the industry, I'm all for it. They also promised no foreign buyers for the next 2 years. Now, that has not happened yet. Foreign buyers are still certainly buying properties now. Foreign buyers only represent about 5% of the purchasers in Canada. However, that is people that are buying properties that are not locals. So we will see if they come up on their promise here and they ban foreign buyers for the next 2 years. The Liberals have also proposed a speculation tax on investors that are buying and flipping properties in less than a 1-year period that are using it as their business. Now, if you buy a house and you have to move within 6 months because you got a new job opportunity in another province or some financial issue happens in your family, you're going to get an exemption. So they're only really going after flippers here. Again, nice idea on the surface. I don't think it will actually have a huge impact on the market. I'm hoping that whatever money the government gets from the speculation tax, they put into some type of program that will actually help us build more properties. Now, one of the final things that the Liberals had talked about long before even the election and when they were in government beforehand is that they wanted to up our immigration targets in Canada. It used to be about 250,000 people, now they're saying 400,000. Now, I always go back to this, and I think immigration is what makes Canada so great. I get to live in Toronto. Like, it's awesome. I've got to meet every single type of person from every single country, background, ethnicity, and I think it's what makes this city so amazing. But if you're going to come in as a government and say no foreign buyers, put taxes on speculation, there's going to be a vacant home tax in Toronto that's going to start officially in 2023, and you're going to say that you want to make housing more affordable, but then you actively bring more people into our country and they mostly go to the urban centers, you're just causing more demand without addressing the actual issue here, which is like we don't have enough homes. Now, just to wrap up this video, I got one more topic I want to discuss. The vacancy tax in the city of Toronto is a go. It is happening. So basically, if you leave your property vacant and you have to self-declare every year. Now, when they brought this into BC, it was a huge issue because some people forgot to self-declare and then got hit with the tax. But every single year with the properties you own, you have to declare, is it currently rented out or is it sitting vacant? Now, let's say it's sitting vacant. Because again, like I understand this tax from an affordable housing perspective. So let's say we have a property sitting vacant. Now, they're saying that this tax is going to be 1% of the assessed value. So if the market value of a property in Toronto is $700,000, the assessed value is probably about $450,000 to $500,000. That's a whole nother video on their own. But let's say it's $500,000 and it's being left vacant. Now that property, if an investor owns it, I don't care if they're in Toronto or they're overseas, it's a $500,000 assessed property and they're leaving it vacant, which would mean a 1% tax to them every year would cost them $5,000 because they left it vacant. If they're willing to already leave it vacant, you could probably rent that property for $2,500 a month. So that means over a 1-year period, they're already essentially paying a tax of $30,000 because they're leaving it empty, because they're not taking advantage of the rental opportunity. The Mayor of Toronto, John Tory, has said again that all the money that's collected from this vacant home tax will be put to programs to make housing more affordable. We will see if that actually happens. I really, really, really hope it does. But will vacancy tax in Toronto magically make homes more affordable in 2022? Nope. So there you go. Affordability was an issue. Interest rates remained extremely low. We had huge demand. Inflation is at a 20-year high. We had an election this year with all these promises. We haven't really seen how they're going to play it out yet, and there will be a vacancy tax in Toronto. But you know what, the one thing I didn't get to really talk about in this video? I don't know how it's going to be easier for developers to build more properties or get through the red tape or open up the green belt to build more properties and homes in different areas. Go on Google Maps right now and do an aerial view of Toronto and pull it out. I guarantee you find a lot of land and a lot of properties are densely put beside each other because that's what the zoning was. That's the issue. That's why property prices aren't going to change. They're only going to go up in 2022. Now, this video was a bit more serious than my other ones, but I hope you found it valuable. If you like this type of real estate content, if you could subscribe to this channel, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing end to this year. And my name is Tom Storey. And remember, home is where your story begins.